You're going to have to excuse my voice here for the video report on this Sunday because, first of all, it's 5:30 in the morning and I just spent the last 5 hours handicapping and updating the sites. And secondly, I've been battling a cold for the past 3 weeks and it's just destroyed my vocal cords. And third, had my high school reunion earlier tonight, which means for 4 hours trying to pretty much scream over music that had absolutely no relevance for the years that I actually went to high school. I don't know what possessed the DJ to play that particular music, but basically for 4 hours kind of screaming over it going, "Hi, where do you live now? What are you doing now? Do you have kids? Are you still in the area?" Or tapping friends on the shoulder and going, "Who's that girl? Who's that guy? Did they go to school with us?" You know, your typical questions at a high school reunion. But otherwise, I think my voice, I feel like I should be like in a smoky studio, you know, late night radio going, "Hey, a little John Coltrane coming up next here on the night train." You know, something along those lines. But that'll probably be where my voice goes tomorrow because tonight I've got the overnight flight. I'm going to London for the next 10 days and then I'm off to Amsterdam after that. So God knows what these video reports will be after going to that miserable weather for the next 16 days. We will see. But a high school reunion, always interesting. It always amazes me, and this is the first one that my particular class has had in 20 years because they just never bothered having one. Apathy is the best word I can use to describe it. But it's interesting, the people that you think and would expect to show up didn't, and the people that I would have bet you never would did. And it's different because I think nowadays, those of you that are younger watching this video report coming from what I call the Facebook generation, I think, like my son, for example, you know, younger, you keep in contact. The minute you get out of high school, you get out of college, you always keep in contact via social media. You know, we didn't have cell phones when I got out of high school. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't have cell phones. We were deprived. So you got out of high school, unless you made a concerted effort, you just didn't follow and keep in contact with friends unless you ran into them at the mall. That's just the way it was. Or you went over to their house, or you met them at a bar. It just didn't happen. You know, it's just so much easier to keep in contact throughout. And very different. So it's interesting to see how people change, and some people don't change one bit. Yeah, they get a little older, their physical appearance may change, but really they're the same people that you remember from X number of years ago. Of course, last year, but my favorite reunion story between myself and my wife, we went to the same school. She's a couple years younger than me. But last year I had to go to my wife's reunion, and I knew a lot of people at her reunion as well. And we're walking to the reunion, and this blonde comes up to my wife. And she comes up and she says, "I know you, I know you." And she comes up to my wife, she puts her hands on her and she goes, "I know you, how are you doing?" She gives her a kiss on the cheek. With the good times we used to have in school, all the times we used to cut class and sneak out and get high and then come back in. And "How you doing?" Gives her a hug and she says, "We'll have to catch up later." And I look at my wife and I say, "Who is that?" And my wife says, "I have absolutely no idea." And as it turns out, she absolutely had no idea. She looked up her name later and she says, "I never talked to her a day in my life." Interesting how memories fade as the years progress at those reunions. And that was before they opened the bar. So anyway, let's talk about football. Yesterday, I was smart enough to avoid that Michigan-Ohio State trap. I talked about the game here on the video report. I thought it was a dangerous game because of the point spread, and I just had worries about Harbaugh delivering in a big situation in the fourth big revenge game of the year. Instead, I told you, if you happened to get my best bet yesterday, that I thought the best bet on the board was laying the big number in a big revenge game with Alabama. And oh, by the way, I won that game. So that means I have now won 8 of the past 9 days. I think the best bet tonight is the Sunday night game. You have the Vikings and the Packers, who played to a tie in overtime at Lambeau earlier this season. Short term, again, I'm going for winning day number 9 out of 10. Long term, winner number 85, winning day number 85 out of 140. It's a top rated 15-9 best bet winner number 41 out of 65. And you get it just like the winner on the Cowboys on Thursday, the winner on the Rams on Monday, all the other winners over the past week and a half price by using coupon code HALF. The other hot handicapper would be Shawn Michaels, who yesterday made it a fifth was it a fifth straight? Fourth straight 150 dime raised the bar winner in college football. The fifth ever in his career in college football. He was on Alabama as well. West Virginia getting the cover thanks to buying the half point on Friday night. Mississippi State on Thursday. Today, third ever 150 dime raised the bar NFL release of his career, Indianapolis, Miami. You get that for half price as well by using coupon code MIDDAY, MIDDAY, from the guy who's the winningest football handicapper here at the site over the past 7 seasons, making $10 bettors a little over $20,000, and it's winner number 18 out of 26 overall over the past 5 weeks. All that and more, the other discounts and coupons over on the homepage. With that being said, let's get to your complimentary plays. On the early card, listen, I went against the Eagles last Sunday with an ultra-rare 30-dime play. The biggest play of my career when I told you to go with New Orleans at home against Philadelphia. And you know what happened there. The Eagles still haven't shown me anything. This is an injury-riddled team. I know they're back at home. This is a team that has been unable to stop the run. This is a team that has its secondary totally shredded because of injuries. The Giants have won 2 straight games. Are they a good team? No. But I'm surprised that this line is 5. I really thought this line was going to be 3. I will gladly take the Giants plus 5 points. They're coming off the 38-35 win against Tampa. Before that, they won 27-23 at San Francisco. And that's since losing 5 games. In the Tampa Bay game, Eli Manning was 17 for 18 for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns. The week before San Francisco, he was 19 for 31, 188 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's played efficiently. I don't see anybody in that Eagles defensive backfield that's going to be able to contain Odell Beckham Jr. The Eagles secondary was scorched by Drew Brees for 373 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Eagles defense gave up 576 total yards to the Saints last week. Mark Ingram III had another 100-plus yard game performance. Alvin Kamara had a big game as well. The Eagles' run defense could not stop anybody last week in New Orleans. They're giving up 4.7 yards per carry. Now remember, the Eagles won the season's first meeting, but even then, Barkley of the Giants, who's coming off that 142-yard rushing performance against Tampa Bay last week, in the first meeting, he ran for 130 yards, had 99 yards receiving. Again, I think this is a 3-point game. I will gladly take the 5 points with the Giants. Also on the early card, I will go with New England coming off the bye, and why not? They've covered 13 of their last 14 games, coming off a straight-up loss like they suffered 2 weeks ago at Tennessee, which snapped their 6-game losing streak. This is probably the healthiest the Patriots have been all season. Gronkowski is expected back after a 2-game absence. Even though they lost that game to Tennessee, they have still covered 15 of their last 20 games overall. Jets, of course, coming off a bye in that 41-10 loss engineered by the Buffalo Bills and Matt Barkley, of all people. They have lost 4 straight games. They have scored a total of 43 points in that stretch. Josh McCown expected to start once again today for the Jets. Patriots have won 4 straight in 12 of the last 14 meetings in this series. On the late card, I will go with the Pittsburgh Steelers, lay the 3 points, buy down the hook on this line, anywhere between 3 and 4.5 points. And why not? The Steelers came up with the magic comeback at Jacksonville last week. They're 4-0-1 straight up on the road this season. They are 12-1-1 straight up on the road since the start of the 2017 season. You got a Denver team that, even though they managed to pull off the upset of the Chargers last week, they have only gone 6-15-1 against the spread in their last 22 games. You've got the 4th best scoring offense in the league with the Steelers, a team that is averaging about 29, almost 30 points a game, okay? You've got a Steelers team that is running the ball so efficiently with James Conner against a Denver team that is unable to stop anybody running the ball. The Broncos coming into this game ranked 27th in the league at stopping the run, giving up 127.9 yards a game. Now, the Broncos offensively have been able to run the ball efficiently this season, but keep in mind, the Steelers' run defense is ranked 8th in the league. They're only giving up 99.6 yards a game. The Broncos have lost 3 straight games at home. I just think that this is a Pittsburgh line that is able to be capitalized on. The Steelers are getting no respect, and because the Broncos knocked off the Chargers, because they have played some competitive ball here of late, you're getting value in a line that I think Pittsburgh actually should be laying at least 4.5 points. So again, I'm buying Pittsburgh down from 3 to 2.5. I like the Steelers, I like the Patriots, and I like the Giants. Of the three, I think the Patriots are the best play, followed by the Steelers, and then of course by the Giants. And those are your three plays for Sunday. I wish you well, guys, and I'll talk to you again on Monday from London. Talk to you then. Good luck, everybody.